Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer stories for Barcelona. We start with this Girona defensive midfielder, Oriol Romeu, as it have been reported that Barcelona's 10 million euro midfield target Romeu does not generate total consensus at the club. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about this report claiming that Barca are facing difficulties to come to an agreement with the Qatari league over multi-million offer that they want to receive for the clubs there to use its brand name. We are also going to be discussing about that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, turn on the post bell notification so you always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Girona midfielder Oriol Romeu has emerged as Barcelona's contingency plan now that they have missed out on Marcelo Brozovic. Indeed, according to Mundo Deportivo, now that the options are very limited, Xavi wants Romeu to be his new pivot as he does not really want to bet on the inexperience of Nico Gonzalez. However, while there have been reports that Barcelona have already made contact with the player, it is believed that there is no total consensus in the sporting department about him. Romeu, who trained at La Masia earlier in his career, has a termination clause worth 10 million euros, and Girona would be open to lower the fee if a player is offered as part of the deal. The Barcelona management is really divided over the signing of Romeu. From Xavi's perspective, he prefers to have a player who knows the position well. On the other hand, Romeu's name does not convince the board entirely, and many believe that the team should bet on in-house players like Nico Gonzalez. In the case of the latter, the team can save up some money and this can be utilized to sign a new right back. Romeu is someone who has vast experience in the defensive midfield position. Above all, his acquisition will cost Barcelona much less than Brozovic, for whom Al Nassr will pay 23 million euros for. Lastly, the salary will not be an issue as well. Overall, it could be a balanced signing considering the costs of the operation involved, but everyone at the club needs to be on the same page to make this deal happen. As mentioned before, Barcelona have already established contact with the player, and so it remains to be seen how Girona approach the transfer, since they are willing to lower the cost if a player is offered in return. Of course, I don't think no player should be offered in return. By the way, which player from Barca will go to Girona, next season? It can still be possible, but I don't think Barca are even open to such an idea. Of course, Oriol Romeu has been a player that Barca have been strongly linked with, most especially after, the potential signing for Marcelo Brozovic looks very, very uncertain. And in fact, Barca have lost the race completely as he's heading now to Saudi Arabia, particularly at Al Nassr. Of course, Barcelona looking for Busquets replacement have not been easy at all. Barcelona have been pushing and pushing and pushing for a new replacement for Busquets, but to no avail. And I think if you want to count Brozovic, it should be the fourth player that Xavi have lost. It's all about interest, interest, and interest. But at the end of the day, they don't succeed to make it happen. They don't succeed. So Barca are just keeping their tabs now on other alternatives, just so to make sure that the summer shouldn't end without a midfielder or a defensive midfielder to be specific. And Oriol Romeu has been a player that Barca are showing strong interest for. So as it stands right now, they are saying that even though Xavi wants a player, but the Barca board and some other top staff members don't like the idea of bringing Oriol Romeu. He is 31 years of age, but his stature, his physique is not something that some staff members really enjoy, and they don't see him as fully fit to play for Barcelona. He does not have the DNA, as they say. Of course, mind you, ironically, this is a guy who left La Masia. He had played in in fact, he was trained in La Masia and played about 2 games in 2010 before leaving for Barcelona. He left Barca and mostly played for Premier League, most especially at Southampton, where he was renowned for. Played at Valencia as well in Spain and some other few clubs across Europe. And Barca are really considering him as an alternative now that Marcelo Brozovic is lost. And honestly speaking, Barca are just being desperate. Like they just want any kind of player now, as far as it's a DM and he's very affordable and cheap and he has a little bit of, a little bit of reputation. Yeah, maybe they go for that because they know that their top targets are lost. Martin Zubimendi, Joshua Kimmich, all of them are lost. Sofian Amrabat, who was also a player that many Barca fans could have hoped that he can come if Barca couldn't get their top targets, but Xavi did not take him seriously for whatever reason I don't know. So as it stands right now, a lot now is being spoken about this guy Oriol Romeu, who is also showing interest according to reports. He wants to play for Barca, his former club, but will the move go through if Girona are forcing for Barca to bring in a player in exchange before they can lower that transfer fee? Then moving on to the next story of discussion. Following Barcelona president Joan Laporta's visit to Qatar earlier this month, reports have emerged that the club have been offered a chance to start a franchise in the Asian Nations Top Flight competition. It would have been similar to what the City Group of Football have in place, with the owners of Manchester City owning several other clubs across the world like Mumbai City, New York City, and Melbourne City, just to name a few. And now, bidding on that, Todd Costa is reporting that Barca have received a multi-million-dollar proposal to allow a club from Qatari league to use its name. Given the difficult financial situation that Barca finds itself in, heading into the summer, a chance to rake in millions and millions of euros would be a welcome opportunity for Football Club Barcelona. And so given that the proposal is understood to be worth in excess of 100 million euros, it is bound to appeal Laporta and co. It could also help them a lot to grow their reach and fan base in the Asian market, which would potentially lead to more income in the future. So everything is in a very initial stage as it stands, and there is not much clarity on what Barca make of this offer and the stand they take on associating their name with another club from the Qatari League. So, of course, with days passing by, more developments will be coming on this. Barcelona really need revenue. We need cash. Despite winning La Liga, which the prize money is worth 60 million euros, Barca are still facing difficulties a lot. Despite Alba and Busquets opting to leave, Barca still face the same difficulties. So it is really something to be worried about. So with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.